Cinema is over as we know it. Movies, filmmaking, everything. It's all gone now. All because Netflix owns Warner Bros. We're fucked. We're never going to be able to see movies again. The theaters are all going to crash. There's no more future for cinema. We're going to get into all that and more this week on the Showseph. As always, I'm your hostess with the mostest, Joseph. Listen, people in the film community, they're very upset. They're very depressed because this big sale that happened last week, Netflix purchased Warner Bros. This is upsetting to a lot of people. I had some kind of, these big buyouts, they happen all the time. Every year, like Disney buys Hulu, Warner or whatever, Disney buys Fox, Warner buys HBO or something. They all just keep eating each other until one day there's just going to be one media company or two that just, viciously hate each other. People are mad about this Netflix one because it's, this is a future of going to the theaters. We're never going to be able to go to theaters. Movies are never going to be in the theaters. They won't be able to go see Avengers 9 in the theaters. Yeah, we won't be able to go see Avengers 9. We won't be able to see Avatar 20 in the theaters because Netflix bought Warner Bros. We won't be able to see Mean Girls 7. Don't you guys want to see Mean Girls 7 in the theaters? Don't you want to wait outside of a theater and see Mean Girls 7 and wait in a line for 2 hours? Guys, don't you want to see Pennywise 8, The Revenge of Pennywise in the theaters? Don't you want to see it on the first release day at the midnight release with everybody else so you can cheer when Pennywise meets Captain America? Don't you want to do that? I'm gonna miss being able to do that. Listen, here's the people they're wishing that Skydance and Paramount was the one that had purchased Warner, which there was a big competition. Netflix and Paramount, aka Skydance, were both bidding for Netflix or for Warner, and they were saying that it was illegal, that Warner was favoring the Netflix deal, and they were trying to get the president involved, politicians involved. Ultimately, I was all for Netflix acquiring Warner. For number one, Skydance, Paramount, the Ellisons, they own TikTok, they own Paramount. They already are actively acquiring media companies across the country and the world, really. And if you like the idea of just one central company, of this crazed guy who just wants to control the media, if you're fine with them owning all the media that you consume, I'm sorry, but that doesn't sound like the preferred option to me. I'm fine with Netflix never putting a movie in a theater again if it means that media isn't controlled by just one company, one guy, essentially. Warner is still going to run as it was, at least my understanding of it. It's going to run the same. The CEO, David Zaslav, is still going to be in charge. James Gunn, he's still going to do all his DC stuff. If they would have gone to Skydance, they would have probably cut a bunch of shit, changed a bunch of shit around. I know in the past Netflix has been against releasing their films in theaters. People, a lot of like Knives Out, Rian Johnson, he doesn't like working with Netflix because they don't release his movies in theaters. Theaters have been on a decline now ever since even before COVID. I mean, people weren't even really going to theaters anymore. Listen, my favorite theaters have all been demolished. Okay, all the independent theaters that I used to go to, they're gone, demolished. They have parking lots or the store office buildings built on top of them. Theaters I like to go into, they're already gone, and I had to come to terms with that years ago. Because people weren't going to see the movies at these independent theaters. They were going to the AMCs, the Imagines. Plus, Imagine just sold out all of their locations. The theaters, they're going to go regardless. And it's kind of on the theaters, if you ask me. They got to put more effort to make people come to the theaters. You can't just, you had a bowling alley, you put a bar, you add pizza to the menu. You put massage chairs and heating chairs and cuddle chairs. That's not what people want to do with it. That's not why people are going to the theaters, because they have massage. Oh, this theater has a massage chair. Let's go to AMC so we can get massages while we watch, Avengers 7. I want to go see Superman 8 and have a warm seat. That's going to draw me. No, that's not why people go to the theater. People go to the theater to see the movies and because it's like a night out thing. But people, they complain about the prices for food at the theater is too much, you know. The price for tickets, it's too much to go. It's too much money to go to the theater every week. The other complaint people have is, why would I leave my home where I can pause the movie, go to the bathroom, watch my phone, you know, have sex with somebody, or, you know, take a little nap? Why would I do that? Why would I pay to drive to a place and do that with other people where I might get shot, or I'd have to, you know, I can't rewind it or whatever? I've always liked going to theaters because I like to experience a movie with no distractions, but that's not how, you know, the world is anymore. So I'm envisioning, listen to this, a theater where they have the big screen, but it's just it's Netflix. So you just go with a group of people and you can just do like a Netflix. You change, you're like halfway through, I don't like this movie, you know, change it to a different movie. You have Netflix screening theaters. You can just buy a ticket like for whatever, and then you go, and then, you know, you can pause it. You can pause Avatar 4. That's going to be like a 4-hour movie. You don't want to sit through all that. You're like, okay, let me pause it, go to the bathroom, and then come back. You know, maybe the theaters need to give the audience the opportunity to control their destiny. Or maybe, here's another, theaters go the nonprofit route. So a lot of, you know, improv theaters or theater, like music theaters, whatever they call, a lot of them are owned by nonprofits. So, you know, just start the first nonprofit movie theater. And then, you know, you got to build connections with the studios, of course, to get the movies to come play there. But that way, you don't even have to deal with, you know, a company or owner of the theater. This could be fully independently operated. You just get like grants. You have access to grants, to funding, to donations, and then you can still sell tickets on top of that. People can go to the theater without, you know, the theaters feeling like they're losing money on customers. Ultimately, is it a bad thing? Maybe, but also, you know, a few years from now, AI is going to get to the point where it's going to make movies and movie production completely obsolete. I mean, you know, as much as we love going to see original independent movies, or, you know, if you want to go see Avengers 9, in a few years, the general audience is just going to be able to generate whatever movie they want on their phones. They wouldn't even have to get off the toilet to watch a movie. They could just watch it on their phone, just put an AI generated plot, and where it's just like, you know, make me Avatar 6, but they have huge tits and they all fuck each other. That's going to be the future of filmmaking. If you're upset that, you know, the theaters are going to be gone, then, you know, what do they find out about that shit? And if you're upset about movie theaters being gone, I mean, like, what about the live, like, Broadway type shit? Who even goes to that stuff anymore? I mean, I drive by this play theater all the time. I've never heard of anyone tell me they were going to that theater to watch a play. I don't even know what play is going on there at that theater. Regardless, if you're a fan of filmmaking movies, you should still at least support live entertainment too. I mean, they're doing it more. If you ask me, you know, they got to prepare and they got to do it every night. Whereas with movies, you just film it once and then you play it as many times as you want. You should go support the live entertainment too, instead of just the movie ones. Look, our theater is going to go away. Is the theater business going to be over? Probably not. I mean, people are still going to be going to the movies, even if it's just one theater, you know, in every other city. I don't see this impacting theaters as much as everyone expects to, because people still like going to theaters. It will definitely minimize the amount of theaters and the, you know, the value, the cost of a theater, the expenses that a lot of them run at. Yeah, it's expensive to run a theater. So, you know, chances are a lot of them are going to get shut down, but, you know, they still got a theater. There's still going to be theaters. I mean, there's still independent theaters all over the country. There's just not as plentiful as the ones that, you know, there used to be. And if you really want the theaters to stay open, then get your friends. Get to tell people, everyone you know. The chances are if you're going to the movies, you probably don't have a lot of friends. Come in. All right, so is cinema doomed? Or are we ever going to see movies again? Who cares? You know, just watch this instead. This is probably... watch on YouTube. Watch independent creators. I don't care. Anyways, this has been a new episode of the Showseph. Thank you for watching. Don't boycott Netflix or whatever you want to do. I don't care. I'll see you next time. Big peace.